everyone, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Zoologist. The fragrance we're going to touch upon today is called Rhinoceros. Now, Rhinoceros was released in the year 2014. It was released just last year. It's from an indie house. I was pretty interested just because the concept behind their fragrances is a lot of animals. So there's a fragrance that they have out called Beaver. I think there's another one, Panda, and obviously Rhinoceros. And so they kind of make their sense based off of those animals. And so Rhinoceros, immediately when I think of a rhinoceros, I think of something that is kind of stubborn, big, imposes its will, not necessarily forcefully, but, can defend itself if it needs to. And I was interested in, trying this fragrance out. And so, once I got part of the sample from, I think it was, what am I looking for? Scent Trunk, that's what it is. When I got part of the sample from Scent Trunk and I got another sample from my friend, I basically said, okay, I've got enough to go ahead and do my testing. Let's go ahead and do the reviews. And so that's what I'm actually doing right here. All right. Now the fragrance is available in one main size. It's available in 60 milliliter, and that's going to run you about $125. Now, you can't really find it on any discount sites. You may be able to purchase it off somebody if you want to buy it secondhand, but I haven't really seen much on that outside of that. And from the bottle and the design, I think it's pretty well done. There really isn't that much to write home about, but I do like the design of the rhinoceros in the gentlemanly kind of outfit to it. So it's got a nice little kick to it, or a nice little tinge to it. All right, so let's get right into the notes of this fragrance. The notes of the fragrance consist of, at our top, we have rum, bergamot, lavender, elemi, sage, anise, and camphor needle. And for our mid, we have pine wood, tobacco, emetal, I can't read my own handwriting, geranium, agarwood, Chinese cedar. And for our base, we have vetiver, sandalwood, amber, smoke, leather, and musks. All right, so this fragrance, immediately when I smell it, I get a really nice animalistic leather type of a scent. This is heavily leather. It's heavily animalistic. It's got a little bit of tobacco tinge into it, but that's not really where the strength of this fragrance comes from. You start to get a really nice rum smell and a really nice oud smell. If you're not a fan of oud, you're probably not going to like this because it kind of has that animalistic, I know this is going to sound really weird, but rotting wood. Oud is basically rotting wood, but when done correctly, it can smell really sensual. And I think that this is what really accomplishes that. It comes across as animalistic, comes across as sensual, and I really like how the musk is done in this one. And a lot of musk fragrances, it can come off as kind of sour and rancid on my skin. This one, it doesn't really do that at all. It comes across as almost sweet, and I want to say, even though rum is the note that's kind of listed in this, I get more of a whiskey feel to it. So if I'm to sum it up and describe it, it smells like leather, oud, a little bit of, I didn't mention this, but pine needles, a little bit of pine needles, whiskey kind of mashed in together with a whiff of tobacco coming in. And it just smells, to me, it just smells fantastic. That said, smelling it, I can almost definitely tell that it's not going to be a huge crowd pleaser. This is definitely going to be one that is more to your own personal taste. It's not going to, clear the room and everyone's going to be like, whoa, what are you smelling? But one or two people, when they smell you, they're going to be like, holy crap, and they're going to be fixated on you. That's the type of scent that this is. It's definitely not a huge crowd pleaser, but I think it's a great smell on that right. 3 sprays is generally what I go on that. And 3 sprays mainly because the projection on this, it's a little bit closer to the skin. It's not a huge projecting fragrance. A little bit closer to the skin. It's going to last generally between 4 and about 8 hours in terms of longevity. The season, it's a great fall and winter scent because it's a very heavy scent at that. I don't think it's a great fragrance for you to wear in the warm weather just because it can get a little bit cloying. And it's a good fragrance for a night out, especially if you're at a bar. This is almost a prototypical bar fragrance, if you will, one that you want to wear where you're going out drinking specifically because you're going to smell good when you're doing it, or to a cigar room. That's another fragrance or another scenario that this can actually be worn. Despite having that masculine tinge, I almost feel that women can pull this one off as well too. So if you're a woman, don't shy away from this fragrance. This might be something that you want to check out as well too. Now, as far as age group goes, I think it's a little bit more geared towards the older gentleman rather than the younger person. I don't really see it fitting many younger kids that I can, or people that I can really think of. So, as always, if you can make it work, by all means, make it work. Go nuts with it. And as far as compliments go, believe it or not, this got a compliment. This got a compliment from somebody who I had it on my hand, or my arm, basically, and I kind of took my arm and waved it across. Oh, jeez, sorry about the train. Let's wait there, that to go. But anyways, I took my arm and I waved it across, and I remember this girl, Megan, who I work with, was like, "Oh, what is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Rhinoceros. It's a fragrance that that I'm testing." And she's like, "Oh, it smells really good. It smells very, very primal," is what she said, basically, and she liked it. So I gotta say, it was good on that aspect. But outside of that, I didn't really get any compliments. Again, I think that if somebody likes this scent on you, they're gonna really like it. It's one of those scents for it. But if not, might not go for it. All right. So if I'm gonna go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give it a rating a 7 out of 10. Now, it gets a 7 out of 10. I think it's a great fragrance, as I've mentioned over and over again. It's a good smelling fragrance, but it's a little bit limited in terms of its use. You can really only use it in the cold weather, and really, I just think it's a good fragrance to go to bars, but outside of that, I don't think that it really is a day-to-day fragrance at all. Another thing that kind of knocks it down is its price. For 60 milliliters, $125. It's a little bit of an investment, especially for a fragrance that isn't as versatile. All of that set aside, this is, if you do have the money to go ahead and spend on this, I think that's definitely worth a smell, because you will smell unique, you will smell good for this particular scent. And if you're a fan of oud, definitely check this one out. If you're a fan of leather, check this one out. And if you're a fan of kind of like, I want to say whiskey notes or rum notes, check this one out as well. You're probably going to like this, or at least take a liking to it. But if you're not a fan of any of those, you probably want to stay away from that. Let me know what your experiences are from Rhinoceros if you've tried it. If not, I highly suggest you at least take a sniff, see what it's all about. All right? Thank you guys. You guys take care of yourselves, and you have a great day.